Hi, Great Outdoors kids. It's Mrs. Ness. I am very sorry that I didn't do this last week, but I decided to go ahead and do it today on Monday, April 6th. I'm going to walk you through how to answer these questions when reading a map. So we're going to use this example for Glendo State Park. And if you want to know where that's at, you can look up from the DNR site. But this is the map that we have here. Okay, we see there's Molly Stark Lake, Annie Battle Lake, Sunset Lake, Blanche Lake, Emma Lake. So this whole area that's kind of in white versus the gray, and you see these dot and dash lines, that's showing the boundary of the park that we can see. And then we see there's a couple of these zoomed in areas for some of the like campsites, the lodge, the campground. And then the most important thing that we want to probably pay attention to is the legend up here. This gives us our compass to show us that indeed the top of the map is north, facing north. There's also the scale here. You might be asked to tell me what is the distance for a place from place to place. So you need to utilize that scale. And then there's all these little symbols that would mean certain things. So we'll pay attention to the ones that we need to know. But if you're asked a question, you're like, carry-in axis, I don't know where the carry-in axis is. I have to go over here and find a symbol. Okay, so there's this carry-in axis, this person carrying something over their head. Okay, so the first question that we're asked to do is find the park entrance and circle it. So most of you did a really good job the other day with that, but I did want to clarify, when you're asked to circle that park entrance, don't just circle the words. The words are actually not the park entrance. We have to pay attention to where the arrow is pointing to. Now, when you're looking at these maps, if you know how to zoom in, either Control Plus will zoom you in, or Control Minus will bring you back out. But you also have your trackpad where you can take the two fingers and pull them apart from each other, and that zooms you in as well. All right. So when you're looking at these maps through the DNR site, you can do that. So that way you can see things a little more clearly. You'll be asked to draw a circle on it in the Go Formative. And so you grab your pen tool. I think I've actually added a circle for you that I just want you to click on and drag it to the spot. But in case you forget about it, that's okay. But the big thing when you go to draw your circle and place the circle is to make sure that it goes around the actual site of the road. So it's getting me into my drawing tool here. This is just through the state parks map. Here we go. Okay. And now I can go boom all the way around there. This is the actual little entrance right officially there. So notice I really didn't circle the words park entrance, but I circled the actual road entrance way into the park. So that's what I need to make sure that happens. I've had a couple people decide to do it off from there. So for example, if I go, I'll use that highlighter. So some people, hold on, I'm sorry. Don't know what I'm up to. But some people just circled the words park entrance. That doesn't count. That is not the park entrance. This is the official park entrance. Okay, done with that. That's how those two work. All right, so I'm going to zoom back out. And moving on, the next questions, you're going to see something where we're going to have to count something up. Okay, so this time I want to know how many wildlife observation areas are there marked on the map. So I'm going to have to look at my legend up here and find out what designates the, I already forgot, sorry, wildlife observation. Okay, so we're looking for, I'm going to zoom in, binoculars. Okay, so we're counting up all the binocular sites that we see in the park. So I would strategically, number one, I'm going to ignore all these little extra thingies on the outside here. They don't count. I just want to look in the park. So I would start down at the park entrance and just kind of scroll through. And when I see a binocular, I'm going to kind of count that on my finger. Oop, got one up here at Sunset Lake. So there's one. And zipping along. Okay, now I got a lot here. 2, one by Emma Lake, 3, the floating blind, 4, Beaver Pond Trail. Back out just a little bit. Can I go up any further? That's it, 4. I counted 4. So, and then you can do a double check these if you want to, but just that's what it'll be, is check out what symbol is it looking for, and then go and count all those sites. I would double and triple check my answer on that, but I counted 4. right? Then these direction things. Alrighty. So when doing directional stuff, you have to pay attention to, it's really a story problem because you have to pay attention to two important words, to and from. Okay. From is the starting point of where you're going to want to point towards where you want to go to. So this one here is asking, what direction would you travel to go from the carry-in axis? And I want to get to the swimming beach. So I want to start at the carry-in axis and point directionally to the swimming beach. So I make sure I'm going the right direction. Now, this requires that you have to pay attention in the legend. What is the carry-in axis? So we're finding that canoe carrying person, and then the swimming beach. Oh, it's right below it. There's a person, looks like they're swimming. Okay, so we're going to look for those symbols on the map. Oh, I found the swimming person. And now we want to find the carry-in axis point. Right up here, the kind of top point of any battle. So now when we do this, all right, I'm going to use my highlighter here to show. I'm going to do green here. You do not have to do this, but what I would do and I know it's hard on the computer, but I would basically create a straight line between the two. That was not a straight line, Ness. Good try. All right, let's see if I can do that one more time a little bit better. Sorry. Okay. I tend to point it that way. Okay. And I kind of draw my finger between it, or maybe I take a string or my cord of my headphones and kind of hold it between there. So as I'm doing this, I'm actually putting my headphones on my computer screen right now and putting it between the 2 points in a straight line. So I'm starting let me put my cursor back up here. I'm starting at the carry-in axis point and I'm going to the swimming beach. So hopefully this would be more of a multiple choice question. Note, it is not directly south. If I want it to be directly south, that means it would be vertical, but it is a little bit to the left of south. So utilizing my compass rose, that means I'd be traveling to the southwest, okay? If it was the opposite and say I was starting down here at swimming beach and trying to go to carry-in axis, well, then I would be going to the northeast. So just keep that in mind. Whatever you are going from is the starting point. Where you go to is the end point. So you just want to make sure that you pay attention to those words to and from. All right, let's do another one here. We want to get to Emma Lake from the park entrance. So we're going to start at the park entrance and go towards Emma Lake. So I'm going to back out just a little bit here because I lost my park entrance. Okay, and Emma Lake, is way up over there. I'm going to kind of go back out just a little bit more. Maybe. There we go. Sorry. All right. Again, I'm going to get something kind of to hold against my screen. You could also, again, make a line. If you could draw on it. Boom, there's Emma Lake. Okay, I hope you can tell that is definitely not a straight up and down. It's definitely not an arrow that's directly to the right or left. So it's definitely not north, south, east, or west. We have an option that's going to be traveling. Again, we're going from the park entrance. That's our starting point. So I'm going to put my cursor down here. Starting at the park entrance, I'm going to Emma Lake in a straight path. And so I would be traveling to the northeast. If I was going from Emma Lake, starting up here and going toward the park entrance, then I'd be going southwest. But for the answer of the question, I would be actually going to the northeast. All right, 2 more quick questions. Now we're going from Sunset Lake to Annie Battle Lake. Even if we're not following a direct trail, all of these questions, you need to just assume it's kind of a straight line. What's your straight line path between the two sites, whether there's a road or a path or not? That's what it is asking on all these questions. Just draw a straight line between the 2 points and what direction are you going. So I'm starting at Annie Battle Lake. Nope. Starting at Sunset and going to Annie Battle. So I'm starting over here at Sunset. So I'm going to grab this color here. And I'm going to Annie Battle. Now, it could depend on what site are you going to. Again, I would probably give you multiple choice in this just so you don't have a 1,000 different questions. To me, though, I started here at Sunset and I went towards Annie Battle Lake. That, to me, it is directly to the right. And so I would say that I was traveling east at that point. Okay. Last question. Now you have this straight line of how far is it? So we need a distance. So we're going to use the scale. Again, you're going to want to have something that you can just kind of put up against your screen. It'd be a lot easier if we had a physical map and something actual like a ruler to measure with, but maybe you have a ruler at home and you can hold the ruler up to your screen. That's fine. But we want to find how far is it from the park entrance to Sunset Lake. Okay. And so again, I'm going to use just the cord of my headphones in a straight line path. I'm going to make that here in blue just so we all see that. Okay, so now we're going to pay attention to the blue line there. And it could be at any point on Sunset Lake. Again, I will give you multiple choice here. So you just have to be within my range of numbers. So as I have it on my headphone cords, then I take it and I bring it over to the scale. So I'm going to look over here, boop, at that scale. You can't change your zoom settings. Once you measure it, don't change to zoom in. If you're going to zoom in, then you're going to have to remeasure. So be careful on that. Okay, so I'm measuring it here, and I'm definitely over a half a mile. And now I'm another half mile. So a half mile plus a half mile is 1 mile. And then I pull it again. I would say, now granted, I measured to the upper part of Sunset Lake, so I would say 1.5 miles. Okay, is it possible for it to be 1 mile? Well, maybe if I go to the very southern edge of Sunset, even then it's still over a mile. So I would lean towards 1.5 miles. So I will try to give you numbers that seem realistic, but it shouldn't be like, ooh, I wonder which one it is. It should be pretty straightforward. Okay. So just so you are aware, so this is how those are how those questions work. Circling a park entrance, usually counting up something that's going to ask you to look for symbols, and then paying attention. I'm going from this site to this site, making sure you pick the correct direction that you would travel. Again, straight line pathway, and then measuring some kind of a distance. So when you are doing that for today, you have an assignment here for Glacial Lakes State Park. So you're going to have a practice again to solve some problems for direction. So do go back and fix it. If you don't get it right, please go back and fix it till you get 100%. Make sure you understand what you're doing. There will be a test on Wednesday. So you will not get the chance to go back and make fixes. You will just be reading a map and giving me your answers as is, and then I'll release scores at a later time. So don't stress and be like, oh, test scary. No, it's exactly what you've been doing when you did the Myrie Big Island map, when you're doing this Glacial Lake State Park. Then I'm going to pick another park map, and it'll be somewhere between 8 to 10 questions or so. And then we'll do that on Wednesday. So I hope that you're enjoying this skill. And we'll be looking at some other maps next week, but looking at a different task when it comes to looking at maps. So good luck with today's task. Please let me know if you have any questions, as it is on our daily documents at the bottom. Sorry, that's our week at a glance. There's information to contact me. You can email me. You can give me a call on my Google Voice number. I do have times where I'm on Google Hangouts at 9 o'clock and 2 o'clock. These are the links to get to those. Feel free to contact me, contact members in your class, and just stay on top of your workload, okay? Don't get behind with what you're doing. Day by day, you guys can do this. You're doing a really awesome job so far, and I still wish I could be with you guys in class, but this is where we're at for now. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Get outside when it is nice, and take care of yourselves. Bye.